All right, Sean, let's get to the mock draft. I'm excited about this one. Shout out to the person that recommended NFLDraftBuzz.com simulator on YouTube because it is seamless. It is so much better. Love it. And it's the accuracy. Every mock I've done, Sean, Travis Hunter's been gone by 4 or more. The last mock we did, Ted McMillan went 3, and that's why we got Travis Hunter. I was like, I don't like it, but we'll take him. And everyone commented, rightfully so. What the heck is that? If that happens in this one, Sean, I am hitting reset. I do not care. All right?
All right.
Let's enter the room. Start draft. Shador 1, Cam Ward 2, Travis Hunter 3. Easy. And there's a trade offer from your boys, the Cowboys. 12th overall pick, next year's first, next year's second, and Trayvon Diggs. Don't love that. The Colts, the 14th pick, and Berhard Rainman. No. The Vikings, 24th pick, their third round pick. Next year's first, second, and third, because they're moving up from 24.
Yeah.
Okay. Houston Texans at 25th, and Nico Collins.
Ooh.
They just extended Nico. I don't like that one because you're getting so many less draft assets. This one, the first, second, third next year doesn't sound
Texans
real.
Are not trading Nico Collins either.
They just extended him. This Vikings one I like because also with all those draft assets, we can trade back up into the first to get the tackle we want.
Yeah.
No Travis Hunter. Again, Travis Hunter is taken. I want to go with this Vikings draft package. And there's going to be some maneuvering, though. You in for it, Sean?
That's tough. So Abdul Carter's there, right?
Abdul Carter. It went Shador Sanders.
Yeah.
Cam Ward, Travis Hunter.
Quarterbacks and Travis Hunter. Oh man, I have a tough time bypassing. I think you did pick the right. Like if we were to go with a trade offer, I think the Vikings one is the correct one.
But do they go Abdul Carter?
Have a hard time passing Abdul Carter there.
Let's draft Abdul Carter. I think you're right, and I also don't think that's the most realistic. Vikings at 4. Let's draft Abdul Carter. This is why you're my guy. This is why you're my guy.
Locked
All right.
in.
So we drafted Abdul Carter. Still have the 38th pick, 69th, and 77th. Now, there is a possibility of pausing the draft to trade.
Yeah. I was going to say, could you like hover over that offensive tackle over there too? Like, could you to see which offensive tackles come off?
Erante Ursary still there. Marcus Embu out of Purdue. Donovan Jackson, a right tackle. Cameron Williams. All right, we're back at 38. Trent Brown.
No, thank you.
The Bears first and the 5th for the 38th, or do you get a real left tackle in next year's first from the Bengals?
I'm absolutely not bringing Trent Brown back.
I don't think he wants to be back. He's been injured.
No
Reject.
way.
All right, so I like this, dude. We're not trading for once. Nikem and Wari just went the pick before 38th. Malachi Starks is there, really good safety. Colston Loveland is there. Makes sense as a weapon. Here's my thing of just going with Abdul Carter, the first pick. Tyler Booker, Erante Ursary's there. If he's here at 38th, you got to take him. He's a left tackle. Yep. All right, we're going trenches. Look at this quick draft, man. We might have we might do 2 mocks in one, honestly, how fast we're moving.
Tyler Warren was still there too at 38?
Yeah. That's where, and I don't think he'd be there at 38 though. So that's why I didn't want to go with Tyler Warren there at all, because that's just that's not the reality if you take him at 38. He's gonna be a top 25 pick. Same thing with Colston Loveland. I was surprised that he's there. All right, coming up, Jalen Royal's gone. Coming up, Xavier Watts, Xavier Restrepo just went. Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Jack Besh, all there. Elika Yomenor.
Okay.
I go Jalen Noel here. 5'10".
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jaden Higgins.
No, but he's just more explosive. He's quicker. He's better at separation. Really confident hands. Really good route runner. Sick athlete. And I just think he's that consistent, good, strong weapon over the middle. He's not as big as I want. He's not an outside receiver like I want, but Jaden Higgins necessarily isn't that there either. They both tested well. Jalen Noel's explosive numbers at the combine impressed me so much. He could possibly be there at 69. I think Jaden Higgins would be gone by this. I want to go Jalen Noel here. This is a home run draft where you get a starting edge rusher to play on the opposite of Harold Landry. and to play with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore / Keon White. You get your left tackle in Arante Ursary, who I don't love him, but if you get him with a Doug Marrone who can develop him, this one, when you get a Jalen Noel to work with a Josh McDaniels, to work with a Thomas Brown, to work with a Todd Downing, Jalen Noel is like a Darnell Mooney, but stronger to me. And I think can be a really good slot receiver. I want to go Jalen Noel here.
All right, I was gonna say Jaden Higgins, but you certainly convinced me, and I think you went with at least one of my. I talked you into going Abdul Carter the first one, so let's go with Noel here.
Little compromise action, because if you look at Eliki Yomenor, good downfield receiver, raw. I think Jalen Noel is more of a day one contributor. And again, I said it before, there's a log jam at the slot receiver position. Jalen Noel, if they go with Jalen Noel on this one, I just think that means that someone else that's in that room at that slot position would be gone. And it could be like a trade deadline dealt piece too. Like they could be sellers at the deadline, again, to get more draft assets and continue the rebuild for the guys that don't make sense. So I'm going with Jalen Noel. I'm going with him over Jack Besh. I just think he's quicker. I like his game. I think it translates a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go Jalen Noel here.
Let's do it.
All right. We went Jalen Noel. So far we're going edge, tackle, and wide receiver. The need still, okay, trade offer from the Raiders. They want the 72nd, so the second, third round pick.
Yep.
They are giving a 4th, a 5th, next year's 3rd, 6th, 7th. The Bengals are giving up, we don't have to move back 3 spots or 4 spots from 77 to 81. I don't like that. I'd rather, an extra 6th, extra top 200, next year's 4th, which is really a 5th. I just rejected them. So yeah, I think all of those are gone actually. Yep. And with this spot where still need help on the edge, interior defensive line, Alfred Collins. Were you thinking that too?
I was. Yep. I was wondering if he was going to be there.
Isaiah Bond, really fast receiver, offensive line. Ozzie Trapillo could make sense too. Doug Marrone connect, who is just at Boston College.
Yep.
Charles Grant is a good one too. Ooh, Mason Taylor, Gunnar Helm. And let's go defensive back because I do want to target guys. All right. What are you thinking here, Sean?
Go back to the offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman. Okay, I got you, my guy.
Yeah.
So Anthony Belton is a right tackle, if I remember correctly. Jared Wilson's a good center. Charles Grant is a versatile piece. Ozzie Trapillo is a good tackle. Arante Ursary, we have a left tackle. If you get Trapillo, you have 2 young tackles that you trust.
Yeah.
What are you thinking though when you look offensive line? I want to read the room a little bit here.
I think I would go with Trapillo, and I think the connection. And I should say, I think that they would strongly consider Trapillo in this spot. I just think the connection when it comes, the Doug Marrone aspect of things. And I think you really need to hit a home run when it comes to, addressing the offensive line. I think that's by far the biggest need. If you spend 3 of your first 4 picks there, I think so be it. And at this point, we already had Abdul Carter. We didn't get a tackle at 4. So I would strongly consider Trapillo here.
Okay. So I hear you. We just got Jalen Noel.
Yep.
The tight ends left are good. Mason Taylor, really good athlete, can line up all over, really good pass catcher. Gunnar Helm, the fact that he went through that entire combine with a sprained ankle, that's like Mike Vrabel's guy, and I like him as a basketball player.
You're right.
Defensive line, why did you go ooh with me? What? It was because of Alfred Collins?
Yeah, it was. And I think a lot of the times that I've done these mock drafts, I use PFF more than this site, but a lot of the times I've used PFF. It is kind of, I feel like I get to that 3rd, 4th round pick and see kind of who the defensive tackles are left. And I always have my eyes on Alfred Collins because I feel like in this spot, he makes a lot of sense. They could certainly use some help, obviously just signed Milton Williams, but could certainly still use some help up there. The questions surrounding Christian Barmore and everything. So I think this is a pretty good spot. You got him to slip a little bit if you're getting him at 77. So I wouldn't be strongly against that either. I know we both did that ooh at the same time, so I know you feel the same way. But yeah, I guess what are your thoughts on it?
he is a really good run defender.
Yeah.
He was a starting D tackle on a top 3 defense in the country in the SEC and dominated SEC defensive linemen. The best point you make is that Christian Barmore. If Christian Barmore is good, and they should know more by April, and I hope he's good, like for his personal health and not just his football health, they wouldn't go Alfred Collins. But more importantly, even if he is good, he's not exactly the scheme guy that they want. Now, if they see that they can develop him, I mean, Terrell Williams, who has been regarded as best defensive line coach in the NFL by guys that he has coached, I know Mike Vrabel loves him, he would definitely look at Alfred Collins, 6'6", 330, a house, and be like, our run defense stunk, so he could do that. I could turn him into a good pass rusher, right? So I understand the upside. I look at a Darius Alexander, and I think his stock can go up a lot by the time we get to the draft. He is a Christian Barmore 2.0 to me, where he's more of a pass rusher, blows up the interior of the pocket. Here's where I come to, though. So we have the edge set, and we can go later on the edge. When I went to secondary, and I see Maxwell Hairston, but to me it's more of another guy from Texas, Andrew Makuba. That is a free safety. That is a sick athlete. And if you get an Andrew Makuba in there, they signed Marcus Epps. He's a free safety, but he's older, and he's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
If you get Andrew Makuba to play on the back end with a Christian Gonzalez and along with a Carlton Davis, and you let Kyle Duggar play in the box, you let Jabril Peppers play in the box, you have Makuba playing next to a Marcus Epps as well. You just let everyone play where they need to be, because then you have Robert Spillane, your starting linebacker. Kyle Duggar can go play in the box and be an in-the-box safety in a 4-2-5 defense, or Jabril Peppers. And even a guy like a Jack Gibbons, like if he needs to play some snaps, say if a Spillane goes down, you're just in a better spot because Kyle Duggar's not playing in the back. He's playing up in the box along with the Peppers. This is, again, I have vindication here going Andrew Makuba. I really do. I love Alfred Collins. I understand what you're saying with Ozzie Trapillo too. Just because you know a guy, that's why you draft him.
Yeah.
Andrew Makuba is going to be a starting safety in the NFL for a long time. And he fits this system and a huge need. They don't have a free safety, Sean. They really don't.
Yeah. I mean, if you're that...
No, what do you think? No, push back.
I'm still thinking trenches. And now the more I think about the Alfred Collins thing, I think that, that's, you really got him to slide quite a bit. We're talking at the 77th pick right now. I mean, he's a top 50 prospect, and a lot of these, I know Dane Brugler had him in the top 50. I'm pretty sure Jeremiah did too. Yeah. So getting him here at 77, that's, maybe not the biggest need, but in terms of value, he might be the best value out of the 3 that we just talked about.
Man.
You also did just talk about Darius Alexander. And
that's what I'm looking of. Who else is there? I see a Kobe Bryant from Kansas, good corner, but that's a guy that could eventually be that free safety. And because you have a Marcus Epps, you can develop a Kobe Bryant. But as I look at, for the role that an Alfred Collins plays, Deion Walker, I just don't love his tape this past season. I think he should have been so much better. But when you get into a guy, certain guys deeper in, like a JJ Pegues, I hope I'm saying it right for Ole Miss. Yep. That's a one where you can develop. He's not that sure thing like an Alfred Collins, but I think a system fit. That's Collins is really good. Mm-hmm. But it also gets to the point too of, so here's the thing. Here's why I wouldn't do it, Sean. Look at the roster right now. Milton Williams, Keon White can play in the B gap, is super strong. Not as big as an Alfred Collins, but could play there. And we assume Christian Barmore could go back. There is a depth at defensive tackle we could get later in the draft. Andrew Makuba, to me, that's a safety that at this point in the draft, that's the value talk right there. I'm leaning heavy Makuba.
All right, let's go with it. You talked me into it.
All right. Appreciate you giving me the last 2 picks, especially. Whew, man, that was a fun one. We had to sweat it and think it. I mean, there's good options. And even on the edge, I like the guys that were there too. So
now, where are we right now in the draft? We're at 87, 89. I mean, Alfred Collins is still, okay, he just went at 90.
And that makes sense. He was going to go. Devin Neal's still there. That's a running back I really like. Trapillo could still fall.
I was going to say, what do we got in the offensive line?
Oh, there goes Devin Neal. Who did it? Oh, sorry, I'm scrolling up. Sorry for the guys watching. That's why he was taken end of the third. Let me look. Devin Neal to the Vikings. Oh my God, what a fit. He's going to be so good. He's going to be so good in that offense.
In Minnesota, yeah.
He's electric. Yeah. That's like a football nerd in me. Okay. Yeah. You wanted offensive line. Let's look quick. Defensive lineman. Jordan Birch as an edge doesn't fit this scheme. More of a run defender. I just don't love him. Savion Jones could be good. More of a pass rusher out of LSU. Come on, Rucker. Don't love him. So I'm looking at the edge guys. So there went the run on interior.
Yeah.
Ty Robinson, maybe you get him later out of Nebraska. He could be a draft and develop. Offensive line, Trapillo is there. Offensive line, Jake Majors is there.
I was going to say, is Jared Wilson still there? It doesn't look like he is.
Jared Wilson's gone. Seth McLaughlin is still there. Jonah Monheim is still there. Willie Lampkin. Connor Colby, good interior offensive lineman, high IQ, really smart at diagnosing blitzes. You think they would go Trapillo? I got the last two picks. You think would you go Trapillo here?
I think I would. Yep. We're talking at 106. I mean, he's definitely a top 100 guy.
Yeah.
He's a top 100 guy. You get him there. He fills a need. I would say, yeah.
Again, that's a familiarity too. Local tie. We've had Ozzy Trapillo on. Boston has entered the chat, by the way. Super smart, super sharp. Plays guitar, by the way. Like
that's
you got big hands like an offensive lineman. You got really big fingers. You could play guitar. Good for him. 33-inch arms. Tackle number.
Yeah.
81 and 2/8 inch wingspan. On top of being 6'8", 315. Good broad jump, good vertical, explosive. He's good and strong. Like, he doesn't get bullied and pushed around. That's what I wonder. I think he can be a starting level offensive tackle. You want Trapillo? I think you go Trapillo here because this is a guy that, worst case scenario, is competition for Caden Wallace. Best case scenario, takes over once Morgan Moses is gone.
Yep, I agree.
You say Trapillo.
I do. Yep, I'm glad it didn't twist your arm at whatever we were at, 70, whatever.
You got to look wide receiver a little bit. Give me a moment. Okay, Pat Bryant's still there. Looking at tight end, Brenningstool is still there. Luke Lachey, Brandon Cuthie. Okay.
A deep tight end draft.
It is a good tight end draft. Cornerback, Kobe Bryant's still there, but I see him more as a free safety. No, I'm joking. Cam Scatterbo, Lakeem Allen.
Still there. Yep.
Fumbling issues, man. He fumbled a lot. Let's go Trapillo. Let's go Trapillo. By the way, people watching, if you disagree with this pick, or if you disagree with the last two picks, I'm not trying to only put Sean on blast. We're going Trapillo here. Boom.
I like it.
He's good, man. Awesome dude, too, when we interviewed him. Could see him crushing in interview rooms with teams. Yeah. And I bet Doug Marrone loves him. Bill O'Brien loved him when he was on the show, too. So I see that in Ozzy Trapillo a ton. All right. So far in this draft, let me talk to our director, Jay, quick. Jay, can you take on the full screen so we see who we've picked so far? Because we're at that perfect spot. Jay, you're the man. Appreciate that. Abdul Carter, number 4 overall. Arante Ursary falling to 38 overall. Yep. Jalen Noel in the 3rd. Andrew Makuba in the 3rd at 77. Oh, Cowboys want to trade for number 144 next year's 4th. No, I'd rather draft now. I don't want a 5th rounder. Yeah.
Those are bad offers.
Those are bad. Yeah. So I'm happy that's happening. So the full screen's still up there. This is starting edge rusher, starting left tackle, wide receiver 3 at worst in this offense in Jalen Noel, starting free safety in Andrew Makuba, development tackle who could be a starter in Ozzy Trapillo. This is a good draft because those are guys that these aren't crazy projects. There are other guys that we could have went in certain spots where that would be a project. He is not. So I like this. All right. Edge, Baron Sorrell from Texas, but we got our guy in Abdul Carter. Defensive line, okay, a guy that I named, and again, help in the trenches, J.J. Pegues. You know, I got to start doing more. I got to do better with the pronunciations. I'm not doing these guys any justice. I just got to look up like YouTube pronunciations of them and everything. But 6'2", 320, really dense. Oh, great. Mm-hmm. Swear to God, I'm not trying to look up enunciation. That's just my iPad and my notes going up. Really hard worker, high motor, run game needs development, will be 24 when he's a rookie. So he's an older rookie, but he still has a lot to develop. I just don't love that if you're developmental at 24 in a way. Like that might be you. Yeah. Off-ball linebacker, low-key need. Don't like the picks there. Defensive back. Tight end.
The interior lineman too. Ooh, Mitchell Evans still there too.
Hold on. And then Jake Majors. Not to go crazy with the Texas talk. Steve Sarkisian offense. Really complex. Started multiple years at Texas. This is a guy, as we were talking about Grant Bradbury, obviously Jake Majors is front of mind for me. This is, again, you can draft him. He could be a really good center. I kind of, in a way with him, I somewhat see a Tyler Biadasz. Biadasz more run block prone coming out of college, like better at run blocking. Jake Majors more all around. But I just think of like a later round pick that can end up being a starting center, as Tyler Biadasz is now with the Commanders is a key piece for their success. He was good with the Cowboys. I know you liked him when he was there. That's what I see in a Jake Majors. Running back, let's look one more time. Lakeem Allen is in need, but I think they could go later. What are you thinking here, Sean?
Is
I'm trying
Dylan
my best.
Fairchild left?
Dylan Fairchild.
He's not, right?
No, he's definitely gone.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If we don't go Jake Majors, Connor Colby, do you pass?
Is Willie there? Is the fire hydrant still there?
Willie Lampkin? Should be. No, I think he was scooped up. He's gone.
Wow.
Drew Kendall, another BC guy there. Drew Kendall, also a friend of the program. All right. I like that we're having this difficulty in the 5th round just because someone is good. So didn't go cornerback. They do need a corner. And Denzel Burke, struggle year with Ohio State, was okay. Mello Dotson was good with Kansas. Don't need Malachi Moore. Kind of, you're taking a risk there. Jaden Reed. I want to go with Jake Majors here, but let's look tight end quick.
I was going to say tight end too.
Jake Brenningstool is good for Clemson. Good pass catcher. Luke Lachey, solid with Iowa. I just don't see the upside in the ceiling with him. Tight end is a spot of need for this offense too. Do you want to go Jake Brenningstool? What were you going to say?
What do you think about Mitchell Evans?
Who's that?
The Notre Dame, Mitchell Evans.
Don't have much on him. To me, the function of that offense, though, like the system he was in, given he was handcuffed by like poor quarterback play, when you have Mitchell Evans compared to Brenningstool, I'm pulling up my notes now, 6'6", 240, 4.75 40. So not the biggest burner that there is.
Yep.
Good route runner, good middle of the field, and intermediate depth as well. Good body control. He knows how to use his frame. This is the basketball player. Mitchell Evans, don't want to lie, don't know too much about him. Again, coming out of that system, though, like Jake Brenningstool also was like handcuffed by terrible quarterback play, or subpar quarterback play. I think that's a guy that's a weapon. Like, we got Jalen Noel already, and the Patriots with their pass catchers didn't do well. I think Jake Brenningstool here.
Okay. I would go tight end. I'm good with tight end too. I thought that Mitchell Evans was a little bit like higher ranked, by some of the analysts and experts and that sort of thing. Yeah. But I'm good with the tight end.
I think I'm going higher ceiling here, and I just think with Mitchell Evans is that good hands. I just don't think he's more of like you have the Mitchell Evans with a Hunter Henry. And an Austin Hooper-esque to a point. I think Jake Brenningstool is just better as a pass catcher. So you just evolve the tight end room. So let's go Brenningstool here. 144. We don't pick. So no 6th round pick. So we're going to have a long layoff. So I almost took Evans by accident. Jake Briningstool. So, edge, left tackle, wide receiver, free safety, backup tackle, development tight end that can be a starter or a pass catcher in this offense. That's what we have so far. Luke Lachey just went. Malachi Moore, good landing spot with the Packers. Jeff Hafley. This is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets fun in the 7th. You're like, all right, who are the guys that just like you love? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who are the guys that just absolutely flashed in your eyes? Lakeem Allen still on the board. I can't imagine he falls this far. That surprises me. I think he's a good pass catching back. What are you thinking here? Did he just go? Lakeem Allen just got drafted. There we go.
Okay. I was going to say, just for the sake of conversation, we're in the 6th round. What about like if there is a quarterback still there? You could see how it went with Joe Milton last year. Elliott Wolf and the Packers, all that sort of talk. They went quarterback quite a bit. Could you see them doing something like that if there is someone left? I'm not exactly sure who's left at this point.
Yeah, but
I saw the Louisville kid. Oh, the Louisville kid is still there.
Why? I don't want a future 7th. That is the dumbest. Stop. All of you. Falcons, Panthers, and Commanders. F off. Yeah, Tyler Show is still there from Louisville. Here's the thing, though. If you just sign Josh Dobbs, like he's going to be the backup.
Yeah.
That's like a next year thing when you have a lot of needs. I wanted Dante Thornton. He just got scooped. Big receiver, insane speed. I want to see who scooped him up. RJ Harvey went to the Rams. Again, like in that offense, him as a pass catcher, going to eat. Absolutely eat. Rocket Sanders went to the Browns. Good landing spot. Lakeem Allen went to the Chargers. That makes sense. Dylan Gabriel. All right, so I'm not going to fish there. People want us to make picks. So at this point, let's go all. I'm looking at wide receiver Chimere Dike from Florida. Good route runner. Went with Graham Mertz from Wisconsin to UF. Was okay there. Ricky White. Good wide receiver out of UNLV. Another smaller receiver, could be a slot. Upside as a special teams player. Cody Lindenberg out of Minnesota. Good off-ball linebacker. Jack Gibbons is young, though, that I don't think they would need a Lindenberg. I think that would be more if you go undrafted free agent, maybe, if they feel that way. Mm-hmm. Cam Horsley out of BC was good. Tonka Hemingway, big body. We could get him later. Running back, Trevor Etienne. All right, Taj Brooks, good big back. Donovan Edwards. I'm not going to sleep on. They need a lot in the RB room.
Yeah.
I like Ricky White. You call your shot here, Sean. What are you thinking?
I was going to say I'm good with the Florida receiver too.
Chimere Dike?
Yeah, Chimere. I definitely would have got that wrong if I said it first. So
I covered him at UW. Good.
Okay.
Good route runner. Good hands. Doesn't have that elite separation though, but playing in the SEC was decent for Florida. The thing with Ricky White though is that so you want to go receiver. Ricky White does have the special teams upside, and a UNLV offense was a big role for them and really produced. You want to go? What do you think? Are you going by ranking here with Chimere? So you're kind of going like, hey, the guys at GMs.
I mean, I was actually just checking out ESPN's draft ranking or wide receiver rankings as well, and it has him way above the rest of who's there. So that's kind of part of the reason I said it. But
all right, let's
I'm
go
good with
Chimere. He's a fairly bigger receiver too, and you know what? Maybe that is you take the. Let me look up what his measurables were. That's maybe you take that at this spot, especially on the outside.
Yeah. 6'1", 196.
Let's go with it. Big receiver. They need that. All right. It's the last 2 picks, 7th round. We're not going to drag it out this much. So, back up. Trevor Etienne there. Still need a running back.
Yeah,
Still need a defensive lineman. Tonka Hemingway. Trevor Etienne. Taj Brooks. I say Donovan Edwards has been my guy. 7th round pick. His upside as a pass catcher, he's like a Devin Neal where he's just electric. I want to go Donovan Edwards.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. They're the other guys that would be good fits. I think you get that type of running back that's more of a bell cow back later on. Ricky White's still there. Hey, could get another pass catcher. Trevor Etienne.
As many darts as you can throw.
Taj Brooks still there from Texas Tech. Cuthie just went. Let's go D-line. Thor Griffith there, Harvard, transferred to Louisville, wasn't fantastic. It's 7th round pick. Let's not sweat this too much. Do we go to Ricky White to build out offensive line? Oh, Drew Kendall. I don't want to go by like the lazy name recognition. But we didn't go interior offensive line.
I was going to say we didn't do any interior.
They need help there. I'm going to go Hayden Connor. I'm just going to go SEC. I'm going to go Hayden Connor.
Yep, I'm good with it.
Interior offensive lineman. Boom. And that's it. That was our last pick in the draft. That was a good draft. We started off fast. In the middle, slowed it down, but very methodical, which I like.
I mean, I think those first 3 or 4 rounds were dynamite.
That's Abdul Carter, Arante Ursary, Jalen Noel. I won't save this. Don't worry about this, folks. I should have saved it because it was a great draft. But that's what's good. Starting edge rusher, that's an absolute blue chip guy. Starting left tackle, who's a massive human, big frame. Starting wide receiver, again, could be a wide receiver 2 or 3 in this offense. I think eventually, as you're on the field all the time, wide receiver 2. He's a more explosive Tyler Lockett. He's a Darnell Mooney, but stronger. And that's why he's a middle ground guy. Starting free safety, backup tackle, development tight end will be a starter. Then you're developing a receiver, running back, and interior offensive lineman. Yep. I like the draft, Sean. Good job, man.
Yeah, you as well, George. What do we get a trait or do we get a grade here?
No, they don't do that, which I don't mind. It's fine.
Do you want to grade ourselves?
Yeah, I would honestly give this an A. I really would. I think when you think of need, when you think of like blue chip potential as well, and on the comments too, folks watching on YouTube, give us a grade. Am I biased? Sure. I'm giving myself an A.
I'll go A-.
A-. I like it. Had to say no to a very, very tantalizing draft. The Nico Collins one, which didn't make sense, but say it's floated. And then also that Vikings where it was a boatload of picks. Could have traded back in. I like what you did. You go, hey, Abdul Carter's still there. And we went with Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
Sean?
I would say, and that Nico Collins one was definitely enticing.
It's right.
It'll never happen on draft night, but it was definitely enticing.
That's one where it'd be, you would look at it and he's under contract agreement too. I just can't imagine the Texans. That's a guy that is so important, especially with Tank Dell going to be out to start the season too. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They're not trading Nico Collins. Hayden Connor this season, according to PFF, 0 sacks allowed, 2 QB hits, 90 pass block grade. It's our left guard. Filled out the entire offensive line.